All right, let's jump right in. Today, we're going to talk about something super important. What makes a great employee in today's crazy, fast-paced digital world? We're diving into this really cool study from 2022 that basically flips everything we thought we knew about hiring on its head. So yeah, let's get to it.
So first, let me ask you something. That picture you have in your head of the perfect employee, the super dependable, organized, by-the-book person, what if that idea is totally outdated? Well, the research we're looking at today suggests the answer is a big, fat yes.
You see, for years and years, we've been working off of this old blueprint for what makes a great hire. But the problem is, that blueprint was designed for a world that, frankly, just doesn't exist anymore.
I mean, just think about it. The old industrial workplace was all about predictability, order, stability, kind of like an assembly line. But today, we're living in what experts call a VUCA world. It's volatile, it's uncertain, it's complex, and it's ambiguous. The entire rulebook has been thrown out the window.
Now, for decades, and I mean decades, there was one trait that was just king, the gold standard, and that was conscientiousness. Being super dependable, persistent, always hitting your goals. This was, without a doubt, the #1 thing managers were told to look for. It was the best predictor of who would be a rock star employee.
But here's the catch. Here's where it all falls apart. The very thing that makes these folks so great, their love for clear rules and orderly tasks, is a terrible fit for the absolute chaos of modern work. So, the very profile we've been using for so long might actually be setting people up to struggle, not succeed.
Okay, so if the old blueprint is busted, what's the new one? Well, before we can even figure out who the right person is, these researchers had to figure out what winning even looks like in this new game. And they landed on 2 key things. First up is this idea of digital self-efficacy. And what's so cool about this is, it's not about the tech skills you already have. Not at all. It's about your confidence. It's that deep-down belief that, yeah, you can totally figure out whatever new software or gadget gets thrown your way. And the second goalpost is workforce agility. Honestly, this is the modern employee's superpower. It's that ability to just roll with the punches, to learn on the fly, and adapt to constant change without freaking out. It's all about being flexible and resilient. And the study uses this brilliant analogy that just nails it. The old model wanted a cheese knife, a specialist who did one thing perfectly. But the new world, it needs a Swiss Army knife, someone who's versatile and can tackle all sorts of different problems as they pop up.
So, with these new goals in mind, confidence and agility, the researchers looked at over 1,300 employees to figure out what actually makes people tick in this new environment. So, what did they find? What does this new blueprint look like? Let's break it down. The #1 thing they found? It's a personality trait called openness to experience. We're talking about people who are naturally curious, they're imaginative, and they actively want to try new things. In a world where software updates every 5 minutes, having people who are genuinely excited to learn is just a massive, massive win.
Right behind that is emotional stability. You can think of this as the opposite of being neurotic. It's that ability to just stay calm, to be resilient and self-assured when things get stressful. So when that new system crashes right before a deadline, these are the folks who don't panic. They just get to work on a solution.
But wait, personality is only half the picture. The study found that what you're actually interested in matters a ton too. First up is an investigative interest. These are your thinkers. They're the people who actually enjoy digging into data, figuring out complex systems, and solving tricky puzzles. They just have this natural drive to understand how things work.
And the final piece of the puzzle is a realistic interest. These are your doers, the tinkerers, the people who love to learn by doing, to get their hands dirty and actually build and fix things. They don't want to just talk about the theory. They want to see if it works in the real world. So let's put it all together side by side. The old blueprint was pretty simple, right? It was all about conscientiousness. But the new, data-driven blueprint is so much richer. It's this awesome combination of 2 personality traits, openness and emotional stability, and 2 key interests, being a thinker and a doer. So you might be thinking, okay, that's cool, but how does being open and stable actually make someone more agile at work? It's a great question, and it's not magic. The study found a really clear path that connects all the dots. Okay, and this right here, this is the absolute key to the whole study. It turns out, people with these traits, openness, stability, and those interests, they don't just wake up one day and become agile. What happens is, those traits make it way easier for them to build confidence with technology. That's our digital self-efficacy, and that confidence,
That's the fuel. That's what directly powers their agility.
So, if there's one thing to take away, it's this: confidence is the bridge. Digital self-efficacy is that critical link that takes someone's personality and turns it into real, actual high performance at work. You want an agile team? You've got to start by building a confident one.
Okay, that's the theory. But what does this all mean for you, like right now? Whether you're hiring people, leading a team, or just trying to get ahead in your own career, the practical takeaways here are absolutely huge.
And it really all comes down to this one number, 62.7%. According to the data, this is probably the most powerful and practical statistic to come out of the entire study.
So what in the world does that number actually mean? Well, it's pretty powerful. It means if you hire someone who scores high on openness to experience, you've got a 62.7% chance that they'll also have that high level of digital confidence we've been talking about. Think about that. It's way, way better than just flipping a coin. You're basically taking a huge chunk of the guesswork out of hiring and making a much smarter bet on who's going to succeed.
Which brings us to our last question. Go take a look at your job descriptions. If they're full of words like dependable and organized, but you don't see words like curious, resilient, or eager to learn, then this research is basically screaming that it might be time for a rewrite. The ideal employee has changed. The real question is, has your search for them changed too?